I see some people driving in their cars alone, wearing a mask. There's nobody else in the car, yet they continue to wear a mask. The conditioning is setting into those people quite seriously, because wearing a mask in the car alone is like sitting in bed alone wearing a condom. There's really no point. My name is Dean Haystack, the Dean, and you're listening to The Coffee Conversation. Good morning. Got a couple of things. Firstly, I've been told that I need to remind everybody to like or subscribe or hit the little bell thingy. Don't know what the little bell thingy is, but hit the little bell thingy. That's apparently the YouTube thing to do. But I've got a few people who've requested for me to do a comment on the idea of being conditioned. Are we being conditioned in the steps that have been taken in managing this coronavirus crisis? Absolutely. Of course we're being conditioned. But that's not the question. The question actually, in terms of my viewpoint, is it deliberate conditioning for something specific, or is it just conditioning that is happening because it's being imposed on us to behave a certain way at this point in time? At the end of the day, you're being conditioned. Now, you don't have to be. You don't have to be conditioned. It's your choice whether you're going to be conditioned or not. You cannot condition somebody without them submitting to the conditioning. And that's what you've got to consider for yourself. So how do you feel about the instructions that are being imposed on you? The fact that you have to wear a mask, the fact that you have to wash your hands and sanitize everywhere that you go, the fact that when you walk into pretty much any store, they point this instrument at your head that's similar to a gun and they pull a trigger standing in front of you on your forehead, the fact that you're not allowed to visit your grandparents or your mother or your uncle or somebody who's sick and in an old age home. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the fact that when your child is had a baby, that you're not allowed to go and visit them in hospital? That there's certain things that you are allowed to go to doctors for now, and certain things that the doctors won't see you about because you're not essential at this point in time. How do you feel about all of those things and what they are imposing that you have to do? Now, certain of the things you cannot change what we are allowed to do or not without potentially breaking the laws, but certain things you can actually do it within a measure of what is not allowing it to condition you. I see some people driving in their cars alone, wearing a mask. There's nobody else in the car, yet they continue to wear a mask. The conditioning is setting into those people quite seriously, because wearing a mask in the car alone is like sitting in bed alone wearing a condom. There's really no point. Yet people are being conditioned to do this. Now, again, I don't know if that's deliberate conditioning or whether it's just conditioning that people are conforming to. We don't have to conform to the conditioning. I wear my mask in respect to others. I wear my mask only when I have to. I don't necessarily sanitize every single time I go into the store. Where I'm free to get away with not sanitizing, I don't think that sanitizing all day, every day, everything is very healthy for us. I think that it's actually going to contribute to the weakening of our immunities or resistance in our immunities. So I'm going to do things the way that is respectful to the requirement, but at the same time respectful to the choices of my own. My children have to go to school at certain times. We have to conform to these things, but are we going to be conditioned to be conformed to them eternally is the question that you need to ask. So the question was, are we being conditioned? Yes, we are. Is it deliberate or not was not the question. That's actually the bigger question. And the extra bigger question is, how do you feel about what is being imposed on you to do? Make a decision and manage it for yourself. That is the power of the decision that you have, and I would suggest that you use it. And to sit back and just allow all these things to take place and not take a measure of action yourself, I think is going to be a mistake, because everyone's talking about the new normal or the new abnormal. And there's two responses to the new normal or the new abnormal, whichever one it is. The one response is that we sit back and let it be dictated to us what the new normal or abnormal will be. Or the other option is to become proactive and dictate what your new normal will become. Otherwise, if we sit back, when the consequences come, we're going to blame everybody else for decisions that we could have made ourselves. Because when we blame, we empower and we become slaves to what we blame. We can't blame. That's kind of my thought process on all of that. So hit the bell. I don't know what that means. Subscribe, like, share, and all that stuff which YouTube apparently requires in order for me to become a hit. And my name is Dean Haystack, just gone over a bump, and I'm just a guy who gives a damn.